So it seems like Seth Rollins has injured his shoulder. All the love to that guy, because that is never fun. But it also likely means, especially given what we did see on Raw a couple of days ago, that we are going to need a brand new World Heavyweight Champion. Now, you may think the answer is obvious, but I think there are some other contenders. So I'm going to start with a fun one. I'm going to throw it in at number 10, Bronson Reed. And you'll be like, Simon, why the hell would we make Bronson Reed the world champion when Bron Breakker is right there? Well, we're going to talk about Bron later. But I think, much like I would assume pulling the trigger on the end of the vision because Seth Rollins did suffer an injury, why can't you use this to have some fun? Bronson Reed does not need to be the world champion for that long. But if you do want to inject some creativity into the product and you want to build on the fact that he just beat Roman Reigns and he just killed Jimmy Uso, I don't think it's the worst idea in the world. It's difficult because how would that work in terms of the synergy and the story between Bron and Bronson? If you've just beaten Roman Reigns, surely that puts you in a title contender space. That has always been the way in professional wrestling. If you beat the big dog, for lack of a better term, you then get to go after a world title, especially because Roman Reigns, either him or Cody Rhodes, would be considered the face of the company. I wouldn't think it was the worst idea ever. And maybe you can even start teasing that Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker are having problems because it is WWE's favorite thing to do. Can they coexist? But if he didn't hold it for that long, then all of a sudden you do open the door for Bron Breakker to be like, I told you, you're a stupid idiot. And I just think it really would put a crown on the head of Bronson Reed that you would never be able to take away. It's a bit like when John Moxley won the WWE World Championship as Dean Ambrose. I don't think anyone actually thought that WWE was going to pull the trigger on that, but doing it just cemented him at a higher level. So we quite clearly are way more invested in Bronson Reed than anybody thought we would do. He is on a winning streak. Again, only the second person in the 2020s to defeat Cody Rhodes. I don't think it's a terrible idea. Again, he could be the champion for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4. Not saying that you should hot potato the belt, but I'm just saying that you may have a little bit of an opportunity to do that, and then you can just, well, not even retcon it, but he can lose it before the end of the year. He could lose it in November when, yes, likely you do feature on other superstars that would hold it for a longer time, but I wouldn't mind it at all. And Bronson Reed is just applying himself to anything that WWE is throwing at him. I'm just going to say I'd be a fan. And of course, at number 9 is an obvious one. It would be Jey Uso. Now, is it the right time for Jey Uso to win the title? Probably not, because it kind of feels like his beef is going to be with Jimmy Uso at LA Knight, etc., etc. But he has been the world champion before. It is literally the belt he was holding back at WrestleMania. So if you wanted to go back to it and once again tell a story that maybe we didn't already have, sometimes WWE is at its best when they do have their backs against the wall. Do you remember when a flight got delayed and all of a sudden we had that SmackDown when it was NXT versus WWE? That was a Triple H book show, or at least he would have had a massive say in it because the rest of the crew weren't there. He was in charge of black and gold. And he did very, very well with it. And there have been other occasions too when other people have been in charge where, because they don't overthink something, it actually comes across as better TV, and then sometimes we push people that we should have pushed anyway. Jey Uso doesn't need it. I would like him to be a 2-time champion at some point, but he is at the tippity top of the card. He is a champ. And listen, if he is going to go heel, wouldn't be the worst way to do it. Now, we're not 100% sure that is what WWE wants to do. It's like something that already exists, and that's why it's an easier sell job than Bronson Reed. Like before Jey Uso became champion, so many people are like, no, it can't be Jey. Even though I think you should just try these things out and they don't work, you can then go off in a different direction. He's been championship once. If he's a champion the second time, usually, once again, that does put you in a very specific position in WWE. Not everybody gets around to. And it ties in. Number 8 is LA Knight. I mean, there's nothing else I can really say. I guess the difference with LA is that people want him to be champion, and Triple H seems to be totally against this as he continues to shift away from the title scene. Now, if he had won that triple threat match on Raw between CM Punk and Jey Uso, I would have said just do it. He did beat Seth Rollins back at Saturday Night's Main Event, come up with a match and allow him to get the victory. I just don't think his moment, well, actually, there's somebody else on this list where you could say I'm arguing the same point. But when somebody the fans have been behind for so long does win their first world championship, you do want to be at a moment. Again, Jey Uso at WrestleMania 41. But then beggars can't be choosers, and we do find ourselves in a situation that nobody was anticipating. I think the vision we're going to turn on Seth Rollins sooner rather than later anyway. We've been leaning very heavily in that direction. And the shoulder injury just did make people go, oh, let's just do it now, which is a good thing. Not Seth getting injured. I hope he's okay. But I actually think it was better for creative. I don't know. do. I just think LA Knight should be the world champion. If this is the only opportunity he is going to get, you could put the belt around him. And there's always some naysayers. It's 2025 and the internet. You can't get away with that. But I think overwhelmingly, the majority will be like, this is great. This is wonderful. He could lose it at the Royal Rumble too, but at least he finally got that gold. How you tell the story, I don't know. But he's still sniffing around the area. Like, again, 4 or 5 days ago, he was literally taking his nose and sticking it in that scene. Obviously, there is the Punk issue, but why can't you feud LA Knight and CM Punk? They quite clearly don't like each other. Number 7 is a total outlier. You could just give Randy Orton the World Championship. If WWE is not going to go with this Cody Rhodes Randy Orton storyline, and I am recording this before the SmackDown on the 17th, the one after Crown Jewel, but this is not happening until 2025, 26 I should say, bring across Randy Orton, give him a belt, and finally start reminding people, not that we need to know, he's one of the GOATs, he's one of the best of all time, he's an absolute legend. I do not understand the booking of Randy Orton at the moment. I'm actually hoping I'm going to look like an idiot, because we are going to start that feud come Friday. I'm done with all your comments. Not really, keep them coming. Going, but Simon, the patience. No more patience. I want the feud, so do it now. I can be dead tomorrow, and then I never get to see Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE title, which would be absolutely brilliant. So yes, if for some reason that's been postponed to 2026, can't even talk right now, put Randy back on Raw, give him that world championship, and that puts him up to what? 15, 16, then eventually he can become a 17-time champ, then John Cena can come out of retirement. Sound good? Great. Number 6 is Repo Man, because I realise when I do these things, I don't throw in oddballs. I give you serious answers. Also, Barry Darso's autobiography just came out, so I thought this was a good time to promote it. Repo Man, as we know, is the greatest gimmick of all time. I'm not joking, you can see it on other videos. Number 4 is Sami Zayn. Now, this is where I go back to what I said earlier, because I'm going to be a hypocrite. I don't know, actually, because the rumor was it was going to be Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 42, and I convinced myself it was going to be Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins, at least at some point, not necessarily at WrestleMania, and Sami Zayn would be the guy to win that World Championship. I think that's why he was put on SmackDown, to keep those two separate, so when they do the switcheroo again, well, they haven't sort of, I guess, burned the audience out from having too many interactions. I've just convinced myself that Sami Zayn is going to be a world champion in 2026. And again, I think that would make people feel warm and fuzzy in their tum-tums, which is important. Is it going to hit as hard as we copy and paste this if he does it now when it's mostly, well, we've got to do something, and there's a big question mark over what to do with that belt? I don't think so. Once again, I think sometimes if you are on the Sami Zayn train, and you have been for a while, you just want him to get that moment. I think it's why so many people have been into the US Title Open Challenge. It just doesn't feel right from where we are currently in the storylines. You'd have to get him back to Raw. You would have to have him lose the US title. Although you could give it back to Solo Sikoa, because these rebranded MFTs are pretty cool, so WWE may have stumbled into that one by accident. Maybe you could. I mean, the question is, who does he beat? Is there going to be a tournament? Do you have to take on CM Punk? If it is CM Punk versus Sami Zayn, I would hazard a guess, depending where it is, more people are going to be in CM Punk's corner. I guess what I mean by this is, if I am right, and it was going to be Sami beating Seth, and all of a sudden now there's what's the word I'm even looking for, but a disparity over whether Sami Zayn may never become the champion, or if he's going to. Don't do that, man. If you actually made the decision to do it, you have to get it done. Otherwise, we're going to get to the point and Sami Zayn's going to retire, and he's going to go into that list of people that should have been the world champion and never were. And sometimes that is going to make you a damn sad panda. Number 3 is Dominic Mysterio, because I just want Dominic Mysterio to be a main eventer. I was already there anyway, but after his match with Penta on Monday Night Raw for the IC title, I was like, man, this dude, I mean, he's not good to go just yet. You can continue to build him up in the mid-card scene. This is one of those, I guess, I don't want to call it like a Jinder Mahal situation, because people hated that. With a little bit more foresight, like Jinder would have been fine if we had just given him a story and not gone from 2 weeks before being in the opening match to winning a match to being the champion within 14 days. It was ridiculous. Also, Dominic Mysterio is beloved by the WWE universe at the moment. If you did take a bit more time, maybe give it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks and make it very clear Dominic Mysterio has decided to do this, and then he did win it, it's even better than the Bronson Reed one. Dominic Mysterio could hold that title for a week and lose it, and nobody would care. People would find it funny, and it would actually almost reinvigorate how much people like him to begin with, because it just goes to show he gets ball, man, and he's willing to do business. This is complete fantasy booking. This is complete nerd booking by me. I love Dominic Mysterio, and I do want him to be a main eventer. So if you can get there. The thing is, it's seeming very likely to me that Survivor Series, is it Survivor Series in San Diego? I think so. I think it is going to be John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio. Again, I'm hoping. What am I even basing this on? But obviously, San Diego is going to be a pro Mysterio crowd. No one's going to boo John Cena. We did that ad-libbed 619 spot at Crown Jewel. Rey Mysterio apparently is good to go, so he could get involved. I don't want anything to take away from that. Again, I'm living in a dream world here. But certain crazy things have happened over the last few years I never would expect. This can happen too. And my gosh, that would light up my life. And I actually think, here's my random prediction, screw the world title, John Cena will do a 619 before the end of the year. It'll be the best damn 619 ever, because it will be terrible. I've done 619s, I can tell you they're really, really hard. Number 2 is Bron Breakker because, of course, if we had pulled the trigger this early and he was meant to be the guy to beat Seth Rollins or at least go on to become a world champion, just do it. I actually said this when I was watching Raw, although it became more apparent by the end of the day. Seth was saying, you are the future main event of this business, or you're the future prospect. No, he's not. He's the now. He's already been an Intercontinental Champion. He never has bad matches. I like his promos when he can be totally unhinged, but he's in a group with Paul Heyman, so you feel like someone needs to cut the big hype serious one. Paul can do that for him. Just don't stand on ceremony, Mr. Wayne. Give him the damn title and see what happens. If you think it's too early, you can switch it. We did that with Randy Orton back in 2005, 2002. 2002 feels too early. 2005. Whenever the Evolution thing was, we tried to turn him babyface way too soon. It didn't work. Here, Bron Breakker wouldn't be a babyface anyway. 2, he's got other people around him to take up some of the load. And 3, it actually feels like it is the right time. I wouldn't be surprised if Bron Breakker became the world champion the way he's been booked recently. Let's just throw number 1 in there as well. Because that is CM Punk, and the issue here is, what do you do? This should be the feud. It was quite clearly going to be CM Punk versus Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins, at least Saturday Night Main Event, if not into other pay-per-views, probably leading to War Games. You likely would have got some shenanigans at that Sunday Night's Main Event because WWE can't help themselves. But it all depends on what you want from WWE right now, because CM Punk, hence why he's number 1 for me, could become the guy to win that championship again, do a tournament, come up with some kind of pizzazz. But his first challenger should be Bron Breakker. And surely if we're trying to build stars for the future, which is the point of this game, it's Bron Breakker that beats CM Punk and not Bron Breakker losing to CM Punk. Hence why I put Bron at number 2 and CM Punk at number 1. CM Punk should be the next World Heavyweight Champion, so Bron Breakker can beat him. Maybe at the Royal Rumble, maybe it's at WrestleMania. I don't know what Punk's plans were for Mania. I was still convinced myself, based on nothing, that he was going to take on Cody Rhodes, and I wouldn't want anything to take away from that. And also, I want that feud before long, because again, that could vanish. You never know what's going to happen in this wrestling game. But this should all be about Bron Breakker. CM Punk is an established star, even if he never wins another world title as long as we live. Like, he's a GOAT in many ways, certainly a modern day GOAT. He's a legend, he's an all-timer. He is all of those things. Look at the numbers, look at what he's done, look at how many people he's inspired, look at his fan base. I would find it hard to hear the counter-argument to that, although, of course, you're please welcome to do it in the comments below. Bron Breakker is going to benefit massively from beating CM Punk, especially because WWE loves shenanigans, they love the dick board, distractions, interference, and confusion. Paul Heyman can get involved, Bronson Reed can get involved. Rumors are Austin Theory is still going to be thrown into this faction, which now actually makes more sense without Seth Rollins, the future of the business. All of them can just totally screw over CM Punk, which is kind of a callback to SummerSlam anyway. And maybe we build something there to WrestleMania where CM Punk finally gets one over them. Again, is that going to take away from Bron Breakker? I don't think so, as long as sort of Bron Breakker is the guy to beat CM Punk for it. So that is what I would do. I would keep it so simple, KISS, CM Punk wins, Bron Breakker beats him, and then CM Punk can beat him down the line. Wrestling community in general, industry in general, shouldn't be afraid about beating wrestlers. That was the problem with Javon Evans and Leon Slater from TNA. Just make sure you have a story to follow it up. And if Bron Breakker, let's just say fantasy booking, loses at WrestleMania 42, but we have an awesome narrative coming out and he does win that championship back at SummerSlam or Survivor Series or whatever, it's going to be totally fine. It's a roller coaster. It's a week-to-week story. You can always get away with it. But yeah, give it to Punk. Let Bron Breakker beat him. If Punk can then beat him, that's fine, because Bron Breakker can beat him for the 3rd time. It means Bron is 2-1 up. He's a future superstar. That's what WWE wants. So in the words of Nike, just do it. And listen, there may be some other outliers we could throw in here, so drop me a comment below. I am happy for you to fantasy book your heart out, but it's got to make sense. I mean, Repo Man didn't. But you can't just go, I don't know, Jackie Redmond. It's like, I don't think Jackie Redmond is going to go after the World Heavyweight Championship, no matter how many interviews she does. Also, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Click the video on the screen, which is my thoughts about the Seth Rollins turn, which I did think was awesome. Otherwise, it is patreon.com/Simon316 for my watch alongs, only $5. We have a good time with these, so come on down. If you're into your fitness, go to grillermind.com/Simon, good Simon, get 10% off. Come follow me and tell me you hate me at Simon316 on the internet. Make sure you watch my stupid videos about wrestling promos on TikTok. Search for my name. Same on Cameo if you'd like a birthday message or a Christmas message or a hype message. All are fine. And merchandise is prowrestlingtees.com/Simon Miller. Have a terrific day, my friends. Keep enjoying wrestling. Otherwise, what the flub is the point? See you soon.